Hi everybody, welcome to GTCoding. In this tutorial series, we are designing this responsive homepage using Figma. Now in this video, we will start designing the components for our website. Now components are basically things that you can reuse in Figma. So here we can see we have this button and we can reuse the button over here just by changing the color. And if you scroll down, we can see that we have buttons over here and over here as well. So this is basically a reusable element, so we can create it as a component in Figma. And the next component that we're going to create is for this heading. So here you can see we have this heading and even here we have the heading. So we're going to create this heading as a component as well. Now in Figma we also have a feature called variants. So you can create different variants of the same element. So we will have a variant for dark heading, and then we will have a variant for light heading. And then we'll also create variants for different screen sizes. So we'll have different headings for tablets and smartphones. So for each of that, we can create different variants of the same component. And then we'll also create a component for this testimonial card and also for this game card over here. Alright, so let's get started. Now if you haven't already downloaded and installed Figma, you can go over here to this website called figma.com/downloads, and you can find the download link over here. You can download for Mac or Windows, or you can even use it on a browser. And once you download Figma, you can go ahead and sign up, and it's free to create an account. And then you can go ahead and log into your Figma account in the app. Alright, here I have opened up the Figma application and I just created a new Figma file. So I'll just rename this to responsive homepage. Now the first thing we will do is we will select the colors. So I just create a frame for that. I just click on this button and click over here. I'll just select the frame as desktop. And first of all, let's reset the X and the Y values. So I'll just type 0. Right now let's create a square. So I'll just click on this button and click over here. And I'll just set the width and the height to 200 pixels. And let's also add a corner radius of 20. We'll also add a drop shadow over here. So let's scroll down and let's click on plus over here in the effects, and I'll just click on this button and let's click on the effect settings, and let's change some values over here. I'll just set this to, let's say, 7 pixels, and we'll set the blur to, let's say, 16 pixels. Right now let's set the colors. So for the first color, I'm going to set a hex value of DA722C. So this is going to be one of the colors in our website. Here we can see this is the color for this button over here. And now let's duplicate this. So I'll just press Alt and drag it over here. Right now for the second color, I'll just type 057ADA. Right now let's duplicate this and bring it over here. And for the third color, I'll just type E8F7FB. We will have 3 more colors for our website. So I'll just select all of this and drag it down here by pressing Alt. And we'll just duplicate it over here. And then for the next color, I'll just add a hex value of 023047. And then for the next color, we will have a hex value of 070917. And then for the last color, we will have a hex value of 6F7DFB. Right, these are all the colors that we need for our website. So I'll just reduce the height and the width of this frame. And I'll just rename this frame to colors. Alright, now let's start creating the components. Now in this video, we'll create the button component and the heading component. So let's create a new frame. So I'll just click on frame and I'll just create a frame over here. And let's just increase the height and the width. And let's just rename this to components. And let's add a text over here. So I'll just type components. And we'll just set the font size to 48 pixels. And I'll just set it to bold. Alright, first of all, let's create a button. So I'll just click on this text button over here and I'll just click over here. And for the text of the button, I'll just type button text. And I'll just change some of these values over here. So I'll just set the font size to 18 pixels. And we'll just change the font to Poppins. Alright, now the next thing you have to do is you have to convert it to an auto layout. So you can just right click over here and click on add auto layout. Or you can just press Shift A, and now we can see we have this auto layout. And now here we can see we have the option of adding spacing between the elements and also padding. Now the first thing we will do is we will change the background color. So let's just select this, and here in the fill, let's click on plus, and we're going to use this dark color that we have over here. So let's just select this color picker, and I'll just select this dark color from here, and we'll change the color of the text. So let's double click over here, and for this color I'll just change this to white. Alright, now here we have the option of applying padding. So let's click on this button, and for top and bottom I will set a padding of 16 pixels, and for left and right I will set a padding of 32. And let's also add rounded corners. So here for the corner radius I'll just set it to 24 pixels, and this is our button. Now if you change the text of this button, it will adjust the width according to the text. So here if I just type a small text, we can see that the width is adjusted. Alright, now the next thing we will do is we will make it a component so that we can reuse it in our website. So I'll just click on this button, and you can click on this button called create component, or you can also press Ctrl Alt K, and now we can see this is a component. So I'll just change the name to button. Now this button is a reusable component. So if you go over here to assets, we can see inside components we have this button, and we can just drag and drop it anywhere in our website. And now if I make some changes to this component, it will be reflected over here in this instance. So here I'll just change the background color, and now we can see both these elements have changed the background color. So that's how components work. So if you have any reusable element in your design, you can create a component of that. Alright, let's go back to the original color. Now the next thing we will do is we'll create variants of this component. So let's click on this component, and here on the right we can see we have an option called variants, and let's click on plus, and here we have the first variant. Now we will have different variants. We will have a variant for a button with icons. So for the second variant I'll just add an icon. So I'll just right click over here, and I have installed a plugin called Hero Icons. So here we can see the plugin Hero Icons. If you don't have this installed, you can go over here to browse plugins in community, and then just search for Hero Icons over here, and just select plugins, and then just click on install. So if I just type Hero Icons, and if I go over here to plugins, here we can see the plugin, and I have installed it. So you can go ahead and install it, and once you install the plugin, you can just right click and go to plugins and click on Hero Icons, and let's select an icon from here. Let's select this icon right here. So I'll just click and drag it over here. Now let's drag this and bring it inside this button. So if I drag it over here, we can see that we have this indicator that it can be added to the left or to the right. So I'll just add it to the left, and I'll just increase the width of this component a little bit. Alright, now we can see here we have this button. Now let's set the height of this icon to 16 pixels. So I'll just go over here and just click on this button called constraint proportions, and let's set it to 16 pixels. I think the font size is 18 pixels, so let's set it to 18. Now let's set the color to white. So if you scroll down, here we can see selection colors. I'll just select this and set it to white. And now we can see that the button and the text are not in the center. So let's select this variant, and let's go over here to this button, alignment and padding, and let's set it to the center. And now we can see everything is in the center. And now the next thing we will do is we will select this component, and we will go over here to variants, and here on the right we can see under variants we have this property 1. So I'll just change this property 1 to icon, and now this is a property of this variant. Now we can set different values to this property inside different variants. Now here for the default value I'll just type false. Now let's select the first variant, and for this icon value I'll just type false. And for the second variant, we will add the icon value to true. Now if you go over here to assets, and if you just bring this component over here, here on the right side we have this option called icon, and if I click on this, we can see that we have this icon, and if I click on it again, the icon goes away. So now we have two variants for this button. Right, now let's create some more variants. So I'll just select both of these variants from here, and let's duplicate it 3 more times. So I'll just press Ctrl D, and for the next two buttons we will change the background color. So I'll just select this variant, and let's scroll down, and let's change this fill. So I'll just select this color right here. So I'll just open the color picker and select this color right here, and even for this variant I'll just select the light color. And we will do the same for these two variants as well. So I'll just select these two and select this color and change it to this color right here. Now these four variants are for mobile version and these four are for the desktop. Now let's add two more properties. So let's select this component and let's click on this option button and click on add new property, and we'll just name it dark. So we will have a switch for dark and light buttons. And let's create one more property. So let's click on this add new property button and we will add a property called platform. So here we will have desktop and mobile, and here for the platform I'll just type desktop as the default platform. Right now let's go into each of these variants and change the properties. So let's go over here to the first variant, and here for icon we have false, for dark we have true, and for platform we have desktop. Now let's select the second variant, and for this we have icon as true, and for dark it is set to true, and for platform it is set to desktop, so it's alright. Let's go to the next variant, and here we have icon and we'll set it to false, and for dark we have to set it to false because this is a light button, and for platform we have desktop, and then for the next button we have the icon and we'll just set it to true, and it's a light button, so I'll just change this dark to false, and it's a button for desktop, so I'll just keep it as desktop. And then we have these buttons for the mobile version, so let's change some of these values over here. So I'll just change the text size to 16 pixels, and we'll just change the padding to 12 pixels top and bottom and 32 pixels left and right. And I'll just do the same thing for all these buttons, and also change the size of this icon to 16. Right now let's select these four variants and let's set the platform to mobile. So I'll just tap mobile over here, and now let's select these two variants and let's change the dark to false, and now let's select these two variants and let's set the icon to true. Right now let's check whether we have everything set up alright. So let's select this first variant and we have icon to false, dark to true, and platform as desktop. And then we have the next variant, we have icon set to true, dark to true, and platform desktop. And then for the next one we have icon set to false, we have dark set to false because it's a light button, and then we have the platform set to desktop. And then for this one we have icon set to true, dark set to false, and platform to desktop. Let's select this one, and we have the icon set to icon 6, we have to set it to false, and the dark is set to true and platform mobile. And for this one we have icon set to true, dark to false, and platform set to mobile. And then for this one we have icon set to icon 8, we have to set it to false, and dark is set to false and platform mobile, and icon set to true, dark, false, and platform mobile. Right now let's test it out. So here we can see we have dragged this component from here, and let's select this, and here we have these options of icon. So if I select icon, we have an icon over here, and here we have the option of setting the dark mode. So right now it's a dark button, and if I click on this it's a light button, and if I click on this icon we have icon in a light button. And then here we have the drop down for platform. So if I select mobile we have a different version, and we can also select dark and icon for mobile as well. So everything is working alright. So that's basically it with our button component. Now in the same way let's also create a component for the headings. So I'll just delete this button from here, and let's create a text, and here I'll just type heading 2 because this is going to be an H2 in HTML. Alright, now let's change some properties over here. Now for the heading we will change the font to railway, and we'll set the font style to black, and we'll set the font size to 60 pixels. Now this is for the desktop version, and let's set the color of the text to this dark color over here. Now here in this heading, if you add some text, we can see that the width of the heading changes. Now we don't want that to happen. We want to have a set width. So what we will do is we will select this option called auto height, and now if you add some more text over here we can see that it goes to the next line. Right now let's set the line height to 120% and let's press enter. Right now the next thing we will do is we will make it an auto layout. So I just delete all this text from here. And for making it an auto layout, you can just right click over here and click on add auto layout. And now the next thing we will do is we'll just remove this padding from here. So I'll just drag over here and set it to 0. And let's change the name to heading. Right now let's make this a component. So let's click on this button called create component. Right now let's go to the text layer, and here under resizing, let's set the width to fill container. And now if you add some text over here, it goes to the next line. Right now let's add some variants just like we did with this button. So let's go over here to variants and click on this plus icon. And here you can see we have this new variant over here. Now we need to have 2 variants each for each of the platforms. We need to have a variant for the dark heading, and we need to have a variant for the light heading. And in the same way, we need to have 2 variants for the mobile version and also 2 variants for the tablet version. So we need to have 6 variants in total. So I'll just click on this plus icon, and let's click on this plus icon a couple more times. Right now let's click on this component and let's add some properties. So we already have a property called property 1 over here. So I'll just change this to dark. And then we need to have one more property called platform. So let's click on this option button and click on add new property, and I'll just name this platform. And by default we will have the platform set to desktop. And here for the dark, I'll just set the default value to true. Right now let's select this first variant, and here we will set the dark to true and the platform to desktop, so it looks alright. Now for the next variant, we will change the color of the text to white. So let's scroll down and let's change the color to white. Now we cannot see the variant, so I'll just change the color of this frame. So let's change this to something different. Let's change it to this color right here. Right now for the second variant, we have to set the dark property to false because this is a light heading, and the platform will be desktop. Right now let's move on to the next heading, and for this we will set the dark value to true, and this will be for tablet. So I'll just change platform to tablet, and we'll also change the font size of this heading. So let's double click over here, and I'll just change the font size to 40 pixels, and I'll do the same for this variant over here as well. And for this variant we have dark set to true and platform set to tablet. Now let's select this one right here, and we'll change the color to white, and let's set the dark property to false, and we'll set the platform property to tablet. Now let's move on to the next variant, and for this we will set a font size of 30 pixels, and even for the last variant we will set a font size of 30 pixels because this is for the mobile version. And let's set the dark to true, and for the platform I'll just set it to mobile, and for the next variant I'll just set the dark to false and the platform to mobile, and we also need to change the color to white color. Alright, that's it with our heading component. Now let's add this to our frame and let's see whether it works alright. So let's go to the assets and let's drag this heading out here. And here we can see we have this switch for dark and light heading. So we can change that over here. And we also have the platform over here, so we can select tablet. And we have this smaller heading. And we can select mobile. And we have the smaller heading. And we also have dark and light heading for all of that. So that's it with the heading component of our design. And that's basically it for this video. Now in the next couple of videos, we will design the rest of the components. And then we will start with the design of our website. So that's it for this video. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comments below. And if you like this video, please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel to get the latest video updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.